Ready.
All right.
So continuing with the guns of my collection, we got a couple of revolvers, the old wheel guns. Can anybody tell me which one is actually older? Probably not what you would think. Cartridge gun. No, I'm not pointing at myself or anybody else. And we have cap and ball. So who is willing to take a guess at which one's older? Alright, enough of that. This one is actually the older one. This here is a Ruger Blackhawk 30 caliber carbine. And this one is a reproduction Colt 1851. But it is 44 caliber, and the originals would have actually been 36 caliber. This one's a 30 carbine, and it was manufactured in mid-70s in Newport, New Hampshire. This is another one that my grandfather had. He bought it new. It's been refinished. It would have originally come with rosewood grips, but a friend of mine had these fake ivory grips kicking around, and I just thought it looked sharp on there, so I swapped them out. Again, this is a 44 caliber cap and ball. It's nothing super fancy. I ended up picking this up at Runnings 2-3 years ago. Shot it a handful of times. It's fun to shoot, but if you don't have a lot of time to actually sit around and reload it, and you want to do more shooting in less time, this is not exactly the ideal firearm for that scenario. It is fun to shoot, very low recoil, considering it is a 44, but that's just black powder for you. It burns slower. Ballistically, I found it to be about the same as... It's a little more powerful than 9mm. So that leaves me to imagine, nothing really to back myself up on this, but it would leave me to imagine that shooting a 36 caliber would probably be a little more like shooting like a modern 380. It's fun to shoot. This one I don't shoot very often because of its age. I do shoot it, but because of its age, I don't shoot it a lot. The other thing is I get a little concerned over that. I don't know if the camera will catch it, but my grandfather had a scope on this. Not exactly intended to have a scope on it. But I could probably get them filled, welded, or whatever, polished, make it look nice. But This is the old 3-screw design, if you can see that there. And that right there is the main reason I'm very hesitant to bring it in and have it had any work done on it, because they have this thing about wanting to replace these with a newer model. And the serial number on this, if I can get the light to hit it right, is 0000-0076. So this is quite literally one of the very first ones off the line and sold. So, looking at the finishing, I mean, it isn't perfect, you know. It's got a lot of holster wear here and here, if you can see it. Also on the inside of the trigger guard, it's got a lot of wear. But I don't want to mess with it, because I want this gun. I don't want a new replacement. This one here, pretty simple to take apart. It looks nice. It sounds nice. I mean, that sound is, I love that sound. But for this, you would actually pour the powder into the cylinders, and you have a little felt wad. So you would dump your powder in here. You would put the wad in, and then index, do the same all the way around, right? Then, well, this is how I do it anyway. I put powder, the wad, all the way around, and then once that's done, I will press the ball in, index. There's a little spring-loaded tab right here. Pull it down to release it, and you can ram the powder down, seat the ball. You'll feel it when it seats, because once it goes in, it'll stop right about here. You got to give it a little extra, and you'll feel it bottom out. Once you're done with that, all 6 chambers, then you flip it around, and you can put your caps in on the nipples. Love the old terms they came up with for some of this stuff. Balls, nipples. I mean, yeah. This is going south pretty quick. But, and then to fire it, there's a small, I don't know if the camera will catch it, but on the hammer right here, you see that step. And that step is what actually comes down and makes contact with the cap. It's got a little bit of, oh, shoot, what is it? I believe it's magnesium in the cap. I'm probably wrong, but my brain is not operating fully today, apparently. Anyway, and once the cap goes off, it goes through the vent. I'm not going into what they actually called it. I've already made this video bad enough. But you get a small spark that will go through, set off your main charge of powder inside the chamber here, and propel the ball down the bore. Okay? I mean, it's been explained 100,000 times. There's nothing magic, nothing mysterious about it, but still, it's worth mentioning. Takedown on this one. So, takedown's pretty simple. You've actually got this pin that goes through and locks on the other side. So, if you just push the pin out, comes out right here. I need to get some oil on that. Let's been sitting around a while. But that's what this stuff is for. Love this stuff. If you could fit gold inside this can, that's what it's worth. It cleans, lubes, protects. Good stuff. Love it. But back to the point. So you can actually see that rammer a little bit better this way. It's pretty ingenious. It's literally just a plunger on a pivot with a steel handle, right? And the handle's riveted in here. So it pivots there and pushes the plunger back. Somebody made a boatload of money off that, and it's really not all that complicated. There we go. So, there's your barrel. And your cylinder. Stays locked in by the, come on brain, function. There's a lock right here. Okay, that when it is down, that locks into these notches here on the cylinder. That's your controls your timing, making sure that your chamber is lined up with the barrel. It's actually called now your ratchet would be here. This is your ratchet. Okay, that's what indexes the cylinder. These are your, they're the notches that this pawl, there we go, there it is, pawl comes up and locks into these to make sure it's in line with the barrel. All right, enough of that. And that leaves you with your frame assembly. I guess it's just the grease or the oil that's on there. Take the grip panels off, and you have your main spring inside of here. Again, modeled after the old 3-screw design. You know, they did a good job putting this together. I mean, it was, the starter kit for this was $250 like 3 years ago at Runnings. So again, it's been explained 1,000 times. I think probably every gun tuber on the planet has covered how these things work. But they go together. Simple. They're solid. They're fun to shoot. But please, I beg you, if you don't know anything about black powder, you've never done anything with black powder, read, research, and talk to somebody that's done it. Because it is very easy to screw it up, and it's very easy to burn yourself, or much worse. I've seen videos online where somebody left a container of Pyrodex open, and they were out there shooting, and the next thing you know, the whole pound of Pyrodex right behind them exploded. Not a pretty thing. So that's what I'm bringing to the channel for today. Some point this summer, I am taking this out. I will shoot this in my area. I don't know about other people, but in my area, it's a little more difficult to find the .30 carbine. I suppose if I really looked around, I probably could find it, but it's not a highly sought after cartridge. So most places don't have it in stock. You can order it, but if I want to go out and shoot it, I want to go out and shoot it. I don't want to wait a week or two for a couple of boxes of ammo to come in. So, I don't have any holsters for these, actually. This one would be simple to make a holster because Civil War pistols like this, they just had kind of almost a square leather holster for it with a flap that would fold down over it. I really don't think, like, these would have seen service during the Civil War if this was an original, which it's not. But it was more of a cavalry gun. Not necessarily. Officers might have had them. I haven't really dug into it that much, but I believe officers may have carried something like this. But mostly it was intended for cavalry. And of course, everybody knows, you know, after the Civil War, during the Western expansion, a pistol like this would have been pretty popular. I don't know about the old army. It would have been Patterson's, I believe, would have been the more popular one. And then, of course, these didn't hang around very long before they went to something a little more like this. This one's a Ruger, so obviously, you know, they started, what, 50s, late 40s to mid 50s, somewhere in that area is when they actually started becoming more popular. I believe they were in production before that, but, you know, it would have been something similar to this that won the West. Everybody hears that. Won the West, won the West. I'm trying to think. I believe Wyatt Earp would have carried something with a 6-inch barrel like this. I mean, I suppose if you're on a horse, it probably would be a little more comfortable. I know trying to climb in and out of, I used to carry this at one point in time, just because it was the only one I had at that time. But yeah, trying to climb in and out of my truck with something like this hanging off your hip is, I suppose people do it. Not this guy. Nope. Nope. Keep whacking me in the side of the knee. So, anyway, that's what I've got for this month. Tell me what you guys think. You want to keep going with pistols? I have a few more pistols I can do. Or are you looking to, you know, maybe look at some long guns? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I do read the comments. I try to respond to all comments. Unless it's something that's just out there, wild negativity, then I'll read it, but I ain't responding. But yeah, AK, Mini, AR. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. All right. Talk to you next month.